What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today. Shout out to the Dragon Riders in the House of the Dragon. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. It is the 23rd day of November, and here we are sitting at about $551. We've got 7 days left in this month, you guys. And what a miraculous month it's been. We're only up 3%, a lowly 3% up, but compared to the rest of the coins in the market, I think that stands out, right? The others chart, the average altcoin in the top 125, excluding the top 10, is down 14.6% this month. Bitcoin is down 20% this month. We're living in some kind of alternate universe. I've never seen a bear market where Bitcoin dropped more than altcoins did. That's one of the reasons why I don't think we're in a bear market, my friends. I don't think we are at all. But if we are, we're in some weird circumstances indeed. 14% down, almost 15% for the average altcoin, 20% for Bitcoin, and Bitcoin Cash is up 3%. There are whispers on the winds of the massive pump to come with Bitcoin Cash. And I think by the end of this video, we're going to make some serious sense out of Bitcoin Cash, not only interacting with its all-time high areas, but potentially by the end of this next move, seeing prices that are at $5,000 or more. Yes, $5,000 or more. We've been predicting for a long time. The assumption was that the breakout would take us here. We'd stop here. And then we consolidated more. And we consolidated more. I mean, it's become inevitable at this point that we will likely not stop here at all. We will likely run up to our all-time high area. And I have theorized that this move could take us beyond our all-time highs as well. And how high past that? I mean, could we run all the way up to 10K? Maybe. I think that's a bit of a far stretch. I mean, by the end of this cycle, we'll be at 10K and beyond. I think we'll see a $20,000 Bitcoin Cash by the end of the cycle or more. That's a target that we flirted with on and off again for years now. But this next move, I really do think we can find some evidence in the charts as to why we might actually see a $5,000 price or something in proximity to that, okay? Hit the like button, subscribe. Let's get into it. We'll talk about the short-term stuff in a second, but I do want to run with this idea, right? We're looking at the BCH BTC chart. And you can see here that we have this massive what's called a rounded bottom or a saucer pattern, a frying pan pattern. This is typically in a very bad setup, right? With lower lows, lower highs your whole life. This is what we've got. Typically in a bad setup like this, you see a shift in momentum, a slow shift over time. Because whenever you have a straight train wreck to the downside, it takes a lot to stop that train. It takes time and it takes effort. And that effort is recognized in the charts over time. And you're slowly rounding out that bottom. It's one of the most bullish phases of accumulation you could have on one of the charts that you could desirably have. On one of the charts that would be the most desired to have bullish implications on. The Bitcoin chart. Pricing it versus dollars is one thing, but pricing it versus Bitcoin, if you're getting a rounded bottom, if the momentum is shifting in a positive way versus Bitcoin, that's phenomenal. Talk about a low risk investment, something that's likely going to outperform Bitcoin. That's it. That's all you need. Enough said. That's all you need. And on a macro scale, we're on a monthly time frame here. This looks to me like a giant double bottom, and it's obviously got a lower low, but it looks like a giant double bottom. It's almost as if we have this like W shape here. And I don't know if it is a W or what. Maybe the W started here, whatever it is. But I would assume that this next move will take us beyond these highs. And for the first time in Bitcoin Cash's existence, we will have higher highs. We will have broken out of this trend. Since the highs of the all-time highs in your very first bull cycle in November 2017, this will be the first time that we've ever established higher highs. Technically, you had higher highs here, technically. But again, since this trend started, this will be the first time, really. And then from there, we can form higher lows too. We'll have our first, imagine you go all the way up here or just somewhere even just a little bit above here. You come down, you're going to find a higher low. You're likely not going to go to a lower low. Likely. Higher high, higher low. You've got a massive shift there. You literally broke the trend. You turned it sideways, accumulated, and then now you're forming an uptrend that's going to be spectacular for years to come, for cycles to come. This is a multiple cycle thing. This is not just going to be a short-lived endeavor and then it's back to the old grind. No. This is a serious shift in momentum against one of the most serious assets. And I know a lot of the Dragon Riders, the Bitcoin Cash group, they don't like the Bitcoin Core group. And I get it, right? There's bad blood there. But I think Bitcoin Cash is better than Bitcoin. I've said that plenty of times. I think it's obvious. I don't think it takes much as far as intelligence to figure out that it's the cheaper, faster, better, truer to the white paper Bitcoin. It absolutely is. but Bitcoin BTC has outperformed it on a US dollar basis, right? And Bitcoin BTC has been the hardest asset as far as performance goes on a dollar basis, other than maybe Nvidia over the past 10 years. Showing a slow reversal in the downtrend of that asset, and now you're shifting positive, is a big deal, right? This isn't a shift versus just anything. This is a shift versus what is considered to be digital gold. Bitcoin Cash, digital cash, is shifting momentum with digital gold. That's awesome. We're about to see a huge rip, and absolutely we're going to see higher highs. My thought here is that if we take the all-time high to the all-time low, that we would go all the way up to probably our 382 area, okay? Somewhere around here. And I want to, just for fun, I want to see what we can come up with that, right? Like, let's imagine if Bitcoin Cash were to be worth 2% of a Bitcoin, what is that? Bitcoin right now, let's just say by that time Bitcoin makes it back to 100K. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Some people are saying we're in a bear market. I don't know. I've never seen a bear market where altcoins outperform Bitcoin to the downside, but maybe we just haven't seen the reckoning yet happen. I don't know. Let's assume Bitcoin's at 100K. 2% of, because that's here, it's 0.02 effectively on the Bitcoin chart. That's 2% of a Bitcoin. 2% of 100K would be $2,000, right? What if in that time Bitcoin Cash, and maybe it stops right here. Maybe we go a little bit higher. Perhaps we go all the way up to this high here, and that's closer to about 3%. Maybe we're at $2,500 or $3,000, something like that. What if Bitcoin itself isn't at 100K by that time, but it's at 200K? That would give us a potential $4,000 to $5,000 price, maybe even a $6,000 price, right? On the low end, I mean, just imagine Bitcoin Cash is pumping. Even if Bitcoin doesn't pump that much, even if Bitcoin hangs out around these levels, we will likely see a multi-$1,000 Bitcoin Cash. And we've got this serious shift in momentum. That's a great chart. But this is something that I think is kind of interesting. The Bitcoin Cash dominance chart. It's very similar to the BCH BTC chart, but a little slight difference here. We have a higher low. It's a bit more of a pronounced double bottom, and it looks more like a W in my opinion, with this M in the middle. If you've been following my channel for the past 3 years, or at any point in time, really, maybe it hasn't happened recently, but over this past year, I know several times we've identified this pattern here, where it's not just a standard W, but it's a W with an M in the middle, right? Like that. It's a little bit different, right? This is different than this is. Same, but different. In my experience, and whatever that's worth, I've been doing this for 10 years now, a little over 10 years. Whenever you get a W pattern with an M down here at the bottom like this, it's very effective. Typically, W's with this, they won't stop anywhere but where the W began, which to me, you could argue that it's all the way back here, but I would say it's here. This is probably where the W began. So let's imagine Bitcoin Cash dominance does go all the way up here, and likely you go, again, not to where the W started, but just above it. Let's go, what right above this is a good place to find resistance, perhaps right here. That's about 3.5% of the total crypto market cap, right? This is Bitcoin Cash dominance. We're worth 0.37% right now. This is a potential run, if this W formation comes into succession, 3.5%. Google calculator. Coin market cap. The total crypto market cap right now is $2.95 trillion. And we can fact check this real quick, okay? 2.95. Is that right? Let me just see here. Hold on. Total. I trust coin market cap, but I think I trust trading more. 2.95. 2.95 trillion, okay? And Bitcoin Cash is worth 0.3735 of that. So 2.95 trillion times 0.003735, okay? Because it's 0.00, that's, and these are in trillions, okay? So 1%, just so you guys understand, 1% of $1 trillion is $10 billion. 10% is 100 billion, okay? So this gives us about, that'd be about $11 billion, right? 1% is about 10 billion, so that's $11 billion. Bitcoin Cash in market cap value is basically 11 billion. It's a couple hundred million off of what's a couple hundred million between friends. It's not perfect math. It's not perfect math, but just to show you again, we just input the numbers here, and it basically gave us the rough market cap that we have right now for Bitcoin Cash. It's off by a little bit. So there's some kind of margin of error here between the actual market cap of Bitcoin Cash and what the Bitcoin Cash dominance in the total is reading. But okay, we have a slight margin of error. Let's accept that and just understand that if what I'm saying is true, if this W pattern does come to pass, and we do exactly what the average W does, which is we go just above where this is, and it might make sense to find resistance here because that's just above it. Prior point of support back here, just above it right here, right, little shelf. It might make the most amount of sense that we do go to 3.5%. What if we took that same market cap, assuming that Bitcoin Cash grows and the total market cap stays the same at 2.95? Let's assume Bitcoin Cash grows and maybe the total market cap grows to 3 trillion. Can we say that 3 trillion? Am I stretching too much? Imagine Bitcoin Cash is all the way up at $4,000 and then the total market cap isn't at 3 trillion. I would assume it's at least at 3 trillion. Okay, that's just my assumption. If Bitcoin Cash is moving up, it's probably not doing this solo dolo. There's probably other cryptos that are pumping as well. I would imagine the total market cap is worth 3 trillion. You don't like it? Fine. We'll keep it at 2.95. Let's keep it at 2.95. I want to overestimate, but whatever. And I don't even think it's overestimating. I think what we're doing right now is completely conservative. Saying 3 trillion, even if we put in 3 trillion, that would be conservative. But let's be ultra conservative. 2.95. The total market cap doesn't move. Every crypto is stagnant. Bitcoin Cash is the only one having a good time. What happens when Bitcoin Cash is worth 3.5% of $2.95 trillion? I'm glad you asked. 3.5% would give us about a $100 billion market cap. And again, there's a margin of error there. A couple $100 million here or there. Maybe $1 billion at the most. But about a $100 billion market cap. From here, we're at about $11 billion. That's not quite a 10x, but almost. Right? Almost a 10x. And we're at $551 right now. That would imply then that Bitcoin Cash itself, the US dollar price, will be somewhere between $4,000 to $5,000 by the end of this next endeavor, right? And it all checks out. It all checks out with what we've been saying. It makes the utmost sense that just without anything that we've talked about so far, but from a high to a connecting the dots down here, it makes all the sense in the world with all the pent-up momentum we have that we would see something like this. We've seen Stellar Lumens, we've seen XRP, we've seen Dash, we've seen Zcash, we've seen even Horizon. Any of these cryptos that have recently pumped, that have seen fantastic growth over the past couple months since August, the moves that they get are typically somewhere between a 600 to 800% move. Zcash saw a little bit larger of a move, but every single one of them, even XRP, which XRP and XLM, to be fair, still that was last year, but even whenever they pumped, it was still 600% pump or more. What I'm getting at is the average coin, when they pump, it's about a 7x or more. From here, a 7x, a 600% pump, would put us right at about $3,200 from that low there, right? Not from the current price, but from the low. I think that's fair, right? Because if we start moving up next month, we really start moving, we'd assume that this month's low was the beginning of the move. So I think that's fair. And again, a 7x was the minimum that we saw. An 8x was the typical maximum. Or no, sorry, 9x. It was 600 to 800%. It's 800 is a 9x. And that'd be about $4,000. So it makes all the sense in the world that we'd go here, at least here, somewhere in this zone between 3 to 4K. But if we take in the Bitcoin Cash dominance into account, this move will likely be faster than this move ever was, right? So we will likely see Bitcoin Cash go. I mean, what I'm telling you right now is that this part of the leg, this part of the W, because we've got this setup where you've got an M in the middle and you're coming here. This part is typically much faster than this part is. This took from 2020 until 2023 to form. This could take months. You could eat this back in months, I'm telling you, right? It reminds me, honestly, I didn't think about this till just now, but this chart kind of reminds me of a coin that I'm holding right now that saw a massive pump. You guys want me to show you? Some people might think I'm joking here, but I'm just saying, man. Does it not? It's pretty damn similar. Doesn't it? Do you see it? Am I crazy? Am I crazy? I don't think I'm crazy, man. It's pretty damn similar. Higher, low, and all. Like this chart and this chart, they're basically twins. Now the thing here is the W didn't start all the way up here. It started here, right? And you did go just above your W. Look at how fast, when this coin popped off, look at how fast it came. This took a long time. That was your whole bear market. This took 2 weeks. I'm not saying Bitcoin Cash dominance in 2 weeks is going to be worth 3.5%. I'm just saying it could be by January. It could be by February or March. Soon enough, we'll be at 3.5%. By the end of this move, if we equate it, if we put it into the calculator, that gives us something roughly around a $100 billion market cap, which from here would be roughly around $5,000, which would be new all-time highs. $4,300 is our all-time high. There's a lot of significance. No matter what we do, all the ways we skin the cat, things are pointing up here, guys. There's a lot of significance up there. We take the prior cycle high, we take the low here, and our 1272, our very first fib target, when we pass this level, we don't stop anywhere but here at least, is right there at 3650. $5,500, that's a 10x from the current price. What if we're off? What if we have a margin of error here and we're not getting a near 10x, but we do get a 10x move and we do see something around $5,000? I'm just saying $3,600 to $50,000, maybe even $6,000. I was going to say $5,500, but $6,000, 36 to 66, $3,600 to $6,000, somewhere in there might make sense by the end of this next move, which again should happen at a very fast pace. This should take, we're talking about a couple months from now, a few months maybe at most, right? It's going to be a very short-lived season, but it's going to be epic when it happens. And I can't think of a more glorious, I don't know what word to use, just a wonderful, absolutely generous opportunity here, because we've had the back test, we've had the breakout, we've been broken out of this multi-cycle trend now for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, almost a half damn year. You've had ample opportunities to get into it, and everybody's talking about it, right? You're on X.com, whatever. I don't know what it is, but my Bitcoin Cash video yesterday got the most views I think I've ever had on a Bitcoin Cash video, right? If anyone out there is hearing me say things like X.com, people are talking about it, you could write that off and say, oh, you're just in your own echo chamber. That's fair. I try not to be, but I am. We all are. That's how the algorithms work. It's impossible to get out of it. So that's a fair argument. I could just be in my own echo chamber. Maybe I'm noticing more traffic just from people who've always been in favor of Bitcoin Cash, but now they're being louder about it. But then how do you explain, I literally got the most, I didn't do anything different with yesterday's video. I was a little more preachy than normal. But I got I literally got 3,200 or 3,400 views on that video, when normally the Bitcoin Cash videos that I make, they produce about 1,000 views. And 3,000 is not a lot, but that's a lot more compared to what I normally see. I don't think I've ever seen a Bitcoin Cash video get over 3,000 views before. But yesterday's did. And the reason why is because Bitcoin Cash is on everybody's radar. People are curious. They're tuning in. They want to hear what people have to say about it, where it's going to go. And why? Why? And the why is important. I encourage everybody to do the why. By the way, if you're new to this wonderful opportunity that is Bitcoin Cash, you're new to the House of the Dragon here, check out the Bitcoin Cash podcast. They're phenomenal. If you have questions about Bitcoin Cash or why it's the better Bitcoin, look up on YouTube the Bitcoin Cash podcast and have fun. It might be hard to digest. You have to turn on your thinking cap a little bit, but they bring some very sophisticated minds and they articulate their thoughts well, and they share with you the true fundamental values that Bitcoin Cash has and why it's not just different than Bitcoin, but better than Bitcoin and better than most cryptos. It's not just all about Bitcoin Cash versus Bitcoin, right? There's that's sprinkled in there, right? Just like the BTC maxis back in the day, they would sprinkle in all the growth that Bitcoin had versus the decay that Bitcoin Cash had. Now that's kind of chilled out. But it's more, if you want to understand, if you want to have a better fundamental understanding of Bitcoin Cash, the Bitcoin Cash podcast is the best channel to follow. And I think that they are going to get a sizable increase in following and growth in their subscriber base, because Bitcoin Cash, again, is about to grow. Everybody likes to pretend that they're in it for the technology. Everybody's not in it for the technology. If they're in it for the technology, people wouldn't be all of a sudden talking about it now, right? Whereas we've been talking about it before. It would have been something that was talked about before, right, for a very long time. But unfortunately, we're simple-minded things, human beings, and we will chase the pumps. Things will only be put on our radar, will be something to consider once they have seen fantastic growth. And at that point, it's too late. And it's not too late. Bitcoin Cash could be worth $10,000. It's not too late to invest. Imagine if you got to buy BTC at $10,000. It's not too late. But it seems like Bitcoin Cash is on sale because it's below $600, guys. It's on sale because it's below $1,000. There's this opportunity to buy Bitcoin Cash below $1,000. Just think about it, right? All it has to do is do what Bitcoin's done before, BTC, get to $100,000, and it will. At $1,000 or less, by the time Bitcoin Cash gets to $100,000, that means that you got an over 100x return on any investment you have as long as you put money in below $1,000. Bitcoin Cash, without a doubt, as far as the long term goes, between now and 2030, will be the easiest investment to make a 100x on that you will not lose sleep over, ever. You'll know it's the right choice. You'll know it's the right choice because when you put money into it, you're going to sleep like a baby. You're going to put money, you ever put money into a coin like a meme coin or a brand new coin that you're kind of iffy on, but somebody, told you, hey, this is a good project, trust me, bro, right? I do that with certain projects, and there's coins that I invest in, that community-driven projects, low market cap projects, whatever, brand new coins, and I'm happy to put money into them, and we invest and we make returns. Sometimes we lose money, but I'm not like as confident with any other investment that I have in my portfolio as I am with Bitcoin Cash. And because of that confidence, there's a certain like safe, happy glow of a feeling that resonates within me every time that I buy Bitcoin Cash. It's the same thing with Bitcoin, right? You don't believe me. Maybe a lot of you're holding altcoins predominantly in your portfolio. I'm one of those people. Anytime I buy a coin like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Monero, something that has longevity to it, I just feel so safe. I feel so good. There's a certain peace that comes with that investment. And what's great about this peaceful investment is not only is it safe, that peace comes from security because you know it's going to last, but it also comes with euphoria. We're going to see some euphoric, intense growth, you guys. And by the end of the cycle, from a high to a low, the expectation is at a minimum, we'll see a $13,000 price. At a maximum, I don't know, man. I don't know about 53K. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying I don't know about it. I don't know. That'd be crazy. Right? It's not that it can't happen. It would just be crazy. But 23K, I could see something around 20, probably above 23K to 27K, somewhere in that range. I could see that happening. At least 13K, which from here, 13K, I mean, 13K would barely put you at what I think the average altcoin is going to do this cycle. I don't see us stopping there. But even there, that's a 24x. I don't really have anything else that I want to say. I think I've said everything that I need to say. So I've rambled a lot. I've done a lot of word vomit. A lot of volume here. There's no doubt in my mind that what happened over the last 2 days was a breakout move of this phase here, which likely is also a breakout move of this lower high trend here, right? We literally broke out of two areas. We broke out of this consolidation area here where we had like a sideways horizontal channel. We also broke the downward sloping trend line here. Those are definitely breakout candles. I mean, look at the size, look at the volume. It's the most volume we've seen in a single day since May. And it came in a breakout, right? Like this is the beginning of more to come. The days are going to go by. Every day that goes by, you're going to be like, wow, I didn't think that it was going to keep going. I'm just waiting to get back in. I can't believe we're up above $760 now. I thought, back here, I was just waiting for it to pull back below $500 one last time, and then I was going to scoop in. Every day that goes by, Bitcoin Cash is going to methodically, meticulously, tenaciously move higher. And it won't be green, of course, every single day. There will be volatility. This thing's very volatile. That's half the reason we love it. But you're going to blink is all I'm saying. Time's going to pass like that. And before we know it, next week's over and we're already at $760. Next month's over in December and we're already at $2,000. It's the end of January and we're pushing $4,000. It's going to happen like that. It's going to be very fast, or maybe faster. We might not be bullish enough. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. The daily RSI looks great. The stochastics, the MACD, it all looks great. You're about to cross above the zero on the MACD. That looks really awesome. That's good stuff. Weekly time frame, bullish divergence. I guess no bullish divergence. Sorry, just a double bottom on the stochastics there, bouncing off the 40 on the RSI. Weekly MACD looks good. We go to the monthly time frame. There's a bunch of bullish things to talk about here, but the most bullish thing on the monthly time frame is the monthly moving average. exponential moving average ribbon. The fact that we've crossed this ribbon to the green effect. I think I can't remember 100%, but I swear whenever this day was at the lows, we were looking at this ribbon and the yellow line was so far down. I was like, what if we came back by the end of the month? We came up just enough where this yellow line would literally touch. It would make this low interacting with the yellow line. Because again, the price, whenever it was down here, this yellow line was further down. It's like you reached for the yellow line, but you missed it. But we've come up so much that the yellow line has actually moved up this month, right? Because all these lines are moving right here on this part. They're all moving. The higher up you go, the lower they go, the more they change this month. We're going to close at such a point that we literally back tested it for support after having a bullish cross on the monthly ribbon, which just doesn't happen. You got a crypto that's existed for multiple cycles and it's had a bearish cross, bearish trend on its ribbon its whole life. The fact that it crossed green and we haven't seen a crazy phenomenal pump yet is a blessing. We've back tested the ribbon for support. This validates that this cross is real and that the pump is coming. This monthly ribbon cross in itself, by itself, is enough to be bullish for years to come. The BCH dominance chart here is enough to be bullish for years to come. The BCH BTC chart is bullish enough for years to come. The break of a multi-cycle consolidation phase, a lifelong, all history knowing consolidation phase, the break of this is bullish enough for years to come. You're doing like 4 different things on different charts that suggest that you've got years of growth to come. Just one of them would suffice. Just one. Just this would be fine. Just this. Just the ribbon crossing would be fine. We got them both. Just the double bottom, the rounded bottom on the dominance itself against the average crypto is phenomenal. But then you've also got the rounded bottom versus Bitcoin. And potentially a setup that will seriously shift the momentum that you've known your whole life. All these things together, mark my words, my friends, these opportunities do not happen often. And the only people who are going to be sad about the pump for Bitcoin Cash are the people who are fully aware of this opportunity, but were afraid to invest because Roger Ver likes this coin. Get over it. Get over it. Roger Ver was right. It's okay. If you don't want to make money, that's fine too. But don't be upset when the rest of us are having fun. Very short amount of time, we're going to be having fun. So much fun. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Bye-bye.